Hello and welcome to Talk of the Town, a podcast dedicated to everything Exmouth Town. We're your media team. If you don't know who we are, I'm Egg, and the gentleman to he's left on my screen. I don't know, it might have changed on your screen. Is Nathan. He is the voice of Exmouth Town Football Club now. You all right, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, enjoyed doing that Monday. So, was shame about the result, but I thought again, nothing to be unhappy about. Sort of lots to be proud of from that game. So, really good start to the season. So, quite excited.
For anybody who was listening to Nath, if you heard him pause at any point or get a little bit angry, it's because I was sat directly in front of him and I was at times trying to put him off and was showing him various scores from other games and trying to be childish. Um, he also does put me off as well because I'm doing the Twitter and I'm trying to type in what he's saying, um, but it just doesn't work. So can't copy his work. So there's loads that's gone on. We've only played what 5, 6 games. I don't know. I've lost count already.
Yeah, five and a half, or 4.5.
Yeah, we won't go into that because I'll get in trouble.
No, six. When we're talking about six,
We played six
beat
games.
Brixham and then four in the league.
It feels like the season's gone on for about 10 years and we're only a month in. There's news as always. Before we start, though, there is obviously one piece of news and controversy, I suppose, going around the club. And as the media team, it's our job to kind of address that and talk about it and try and speak about it in the most sensitive way possible. So we're going to start the show with that. So Dave Rose haircut, what we saying, Nate?
I like it, man. That's more for the Muff Town lot because they're calling him Kenneth. I haven't seen Benidorm, so I don't know too much. I thought he looked like a new centre back when he came in. Sort of foreign ball playing ability times 10 now. So yeah, I'm happy. I don't mind the haircut at all.
I quite like it. It's not as bright as it was. And I'm all for players coming in with new haircuts. Me, Dave, and Jake are all going for perms before the next home game. Ollie Knowles is sorting us out for that. Sorry, Jake, I've not spoken to you yet, but every player gets rinsed once in this podcast. That's how it works. And Dave, I apologise. In all seriousness, though, Dave has been a good sport and obviously taken in great humour. Good old Kenneth. Back to the actual news. Memberships are still on sale. If you've been to games and you've enjoyed it, get a membership. A number of people have got there's different memberships. There's gold
There's
membership.
gold or normal, yeah.
I've taken the gold opportunity of the gold membership and I've used it for the away games. There's guys we've not seen at away games who have got gold who come into away games now, which is great to see. Still on sale. It's pinned to all of the socials. If you can't find it, contact one of us or the club and they will sort you out with all that sort of stuff. There is an interview coming that me and Nathan did before Brixham Part 1, the first game against Brixham. We recorded that before that game. That's coming out in the next few days. We've just needed to basically I've needed to sort the sound out, but because it's been so condensed with work and with everything, I've not had time to do it. So apologies. It is coming out. It's really fascinating. He covers a lot of topics and sheds light on lots of stuff around the club. So that's coming out soon. That will be out, I promise, before Monday. Devon Bowl draw has been made. We are playing Tavi, who I believe have signed someone called Ben Steer. Don't know who that is.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that in a minute. We're playing them on the 25th of September at home. Kickoff time and all that stuff hasn't been announced. Chard did put that on the MTC.
Yeah.
We'll on socials as well and get that circulated.
A
When
little
kickoff time
preview
and everything's sorted, we will let you know.
preview for the away game on the 28th.
We play them on 28th.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that counts. If you've got membership, you get in
I
for that.
assume, yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's all cup games. It's cup game, so I would assume that is the same. Yeah.
We assume it's the same. We will confirm that, but I very much doubt it if it says all cup games that it's not. But we will confirm that. If it's wrong, then please do come slap me. You can just come slap me. Actually, no reason. No reason. I'll probably just deserve one. Um, away games. There's a lot of away games coming up. we will confirm travel and everything when that comes up and when we are given the information. And there's some gigs coming up as well. One
Yes.
Friday the first and one Sun. No, I've done it the wrong way. The
Friday
30th
the
and the
first. Yeah.
first. Have you got
Yeah.
the details for those, Nate? Because I've
Yeah,
confirmed
so
already.
the first one is a karaoke disco, so not a gig per se, but you can make it your own gig. It's open from 8 o'clock, the bar for that, and it's open to everyone. Both of these events are Sunday's a bit more of a full day. You've got 12 o'clock the bar's open, 12:30 but there's a barbecue there, and then from 3 o'clock till about, I think it's half 5. You've got Ian Boyd doing a performance. I incorrectly called him Ian Bond. It's Ian Boyd. He'll be doing a performance. Um, so yeah, on Sunday. So make sure you come along from that. I don't know if the football will be on and things like that, but there will, you come down, spend the day at the club. These things are always fun. We had just had the fun day, I believe, last week or the week before that, and that was a big success. So these events are fantastic. Big shout out to Elaine and the team that put it together, because they're big parts of the club, and it gets people in, and yeah, really, really well done to them for not just one but two, which is stressful enough as is to probably run one. So getting two done is great.
They are the unsung heroes of the club. Those guys working their absolute tails off all the time. Thank you for everything. Actually, to show that to those guys, someone I work with lives in Exmouth, doesn't come to games. He's not really interested in football, but is interested in music and has said, "Oh, I hear they put gigs on at the club." So I don't know how he's found out, but news is travelling around the town. So well done to everybody. No, me and Nate will not be down doing karaoke and performing.
No.
Nobody needs to hear that. Mainly Nathan. I've got the voice of an angel. What?
I'm just saying, I can't sing, so you're out on that one. I don't know about you. Maybe you have to do a song.
No. I'll do a song if you let me do the radio for a game.
That's fine as well. To do that. Yeah, go ahead.
The one and only time I've been trusted to ever do the radio. Player news. As we touched on, uh, Stero has departed the club. Everybody obviously knows this. He's gone to Tavistock. We wish Stero all the best luck. He was at Exmouth for a long time. And personally, I know, obviously, being at Tavistock and then making the intent switch, that they'll look after him down there. Stero, if you are watching this or anybody does pass this on to you, we wish you all the best luck in the world. Apart from the 3 games we play you, when we will be slating you religiously on socials, and by we I mean this guy. If you score the winner, though, you are allowed to give it back. Just to let you know. Obviously, Jack sustained an injury against Brixham. He was there on Monday against the 8. Put the pictures on socials. He was in great spirits. He was chatting to everybody, and it was really nice to see him come to a game. I think he lives in the Bristol area, so it was great to see him. And he's only been at the club 5 minutes, so it was a great effort for him. We have no news on Jack, as is anything medical wise. We haven't been given that, and it's down to Jack if he wants us to tell people what's going on. But he was well. He was in great spirits. He was chatting to Dave Rolo and all the players and stuff. So it was great to see him, and we wish Jack a massive speedy recovery. There was a collection as well, wasn't there, at the
Yes.
Brixham game?
Yeah.
Um,
£200 was collected. So thank you to everyone that donated to that, because that's a really nice thing to do. And you didn't have people didn't have to, and they have. So it shows the spirit, and probably shows how people have taken to Jack so early on at his time at Exmouth.
yeah, it was a horrible thing to see. It's horrible to see any player, and specifically one of our own as well. And the main thing coming out of that day is that Jack's fine. He's going to be back on the pitch eventually at some point in the future. He's a young man, and he's going to be able to live fine. He's going to be able to play football. Um, Obviously, frustratingly, we were made to replay the game. I'm not going to go into that because it's said and done. It's in the past. We dust ourselves down and go again. Um, there are a number of other players who are also out injured at the minute. Some of them are coming back in the next couple of weeks. Um, we'll get an update from Hilly and Dave when we speak to them at the end of the next game, and we'll get that funneled out to people. A lot of players have been on holiday as well, which is why they've been missing over the last couple of weeks. They are also returning. Some of them had work commitments and stuff as well, which is why it's kind of been a bit makeshift these last 2 games. I think that's everything player wise. I don't think there's anything else that I've missed, is there?
No, no.
Louis is also back as well. He's now got international clearance. He
Yeah.
was waiting for that. I'm surprised that Custom Excise let him back into the UK, to be honest, but they did. That's Louis. You're marked off for the season as well, mate. Think that's everything player wise. There's nothing else to cover news wise. So the games. We've
Yes.
got 7 points more than we had this time last season. Discuss, Nathan.
Yeah, really good start. Obviously started off with the street game in the FA Cup, which was, so that first extra preliminary round has been a bit of a weak spot over the years in terms of losing that game. Buckland 2 years ago, Falmouth last year. So to get through that, and to be honest, again, it's one of those games we had a few here already where we could have been about 4 or 5 up in the first half. Didn't quite wasn't quite Tom Bass, Dave. No, he did score, and then we held out in the second half. Those games can get tricky. Obviously, they went down to 9, which were the first one is probably a bit was a bit harsh. The second one was given because of the first one, so it is what it is. Both got rescinded straight away, I think. So I mean, we got a bit lucky there, but we deserved to win the game, to be fair. And I think if you look at Street's results in the Western League, you can see that's a really good win, and probably one we might have lost another year. And then we got started into Thatcham, the first game of the season again. Um, some fortunate goals in terms of Josh can maybe or cannot claim that one.
You got
Um,
both.
which is which was yeah. So the first one where the keeper spilled it, in the second it definitely isn't his, where it the defender really good header into the back of the net, and then it was, I think, Jack Fawn scored the third goal, I think,
Yeah,
or
he did.
top.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so again, a really good performance against an unknown quantity in Thatcham, and again, who are a team who have had sort of mixed results. They've settled into the league well, so it shows again a great result. And then Bideford away, I wasn't at this one, Egg, so you probably take away for this one, but a really really good win.
Bideford was the complete. I wasn't at last season's away game and I wasn't at last season's home game, but I did watch it back. The home game on the VO was the complete contrast. We no disrespect to Bideford, and I know it's coming from a lad from Barnstable, and I do like to take the mick out of them. We could have been 5 or 6 nil up by half time. They won their first corner with about 10 minutes to go in the first half. If it wasn't for their keeper selves, we could have ran riot. 2-0, I think, flatters them. And from what people I've spoken to, Bideford supporters and people I know who were at the game from their side of the fence, they're more than happy with that 2-0 loss. We were superb from start to finish. And Frankie Phillips pulled off a fantastic save as well to keep it 2-0. It was one of those games where you felt if Bideford had got one, that we would have been on the ropes. But everybody pulled out all the stops to a man to make sure that they kept the clean sheet and that we got the result as well. So it was really pleasing as well. 2 days into the season to see us for those three results. Apologies from Street, really defensively sound, Thatcham really defensively sound, and Bideford to be exactly the same as well. So
And then we moved into the Brixham game, obviously overshadowed by what happened to Jack. But probably actually out of those games our worst performance, but we found ourselves 3-0 up. It was sort of the opposite of the other games where we took the chances that we had. Obviously, it was a shame that the circumstances that they got it abandoned, and maybe a bit too quick on the whistle to abandon it, but it's happened now. And then it took us into the replay in the week, which was unfortunately a poor display. There's sort of no hiding from that. And Brixham bang up for it and got it, got the job done. And that's what happens. And Brixham are a very good cup team. They've had long runs in the Vars 2 years on the trot. So it's no surprise that if you're not playing well against a team that are really good in knockout formats, you're going to lose. It's just how it is.
yeah, Brixham was frustrating. To be 3-0 up and obviously for it to be called off. I was at the replay or the game. I don't really know how you'd word it.
Yeah.
I was at the midweek game, and it was obviously not what we were expecting. Hilly, Dave, and the lads had to kind of make do with who was available. And it was very much no disrespect to lads, it was a disjointed side. There were people playing in positions they weren't expecting, people that were kind of having to fill in and thrown in at the last minute. And Brixham essentially played the team that started against us on the Saturday, and they took their chances. It is what it is. Like I said, we dust ourselves down and go again. Um, Maybe next year We
Yeah.
didn't. It was taken out of the club's hands to
Mm.
replay the game, and when it was replayed, so it's frustrating. Take it on the chin. I'm trying to be diplomatic and not say
Yeah.
what I actually want to
It's
say.
it's it's
And
progress.
it's progress. Yeah, it's
We
progress.
got to the preliminary round, so there's a start there. Next round, next year, first qualifying.
Yeah,
So we'll be happy with that.
and then we went to Melksham on Saturday. Neither me and Nath were
Yes.
there for various reasons, and the video didn't work. So that's apologies. That's on me. I'm going to take the stick for that. From what sounds like, I had reports back from Cookie who said it could have been 8-8 or it could have been 0-0, which I think specifically sums Town right up, doesn't it? From all the years I've been following us, that ended 3-3. And
Yeah.
on it, we were 3-1 down at one point last season. We probably would have lost 4 or 5-1, and we come back and we've won. We've got a point.
Yeah.
And then we went to Yate on Monday, in all our Cinco days, and lost. But I'm going to put an asterisk next to that, and I think Nath will be able to sum up Monday better than I can.
Yeah, I think the way you look at it, Yate, their team is very strong. They had Lloyd James playing, who we all know. Obviously, a lot of Exeter fans will know Lloyd James played at a higher level. A lot of those players come from Bristol Rovers. They've come from the level above, or even two levels above in the case of the striker and the goal scorer, Marvin Jackson. So this is a good team. We saw this in the tail end of last season. They've clearly got the backing now at Yate. I mean, they was down there with us until they weren't, and then they was near the playoffs, and they've kept that momentum going into the season. And they just played a really possession heavy style, and you could see they had that quality. I mean, the centre backs really stood out in terms of those forward runs that we just couldn't deal with. And that to lose only 1-0, and to be honest, the chance they had was one of the few chances they did, and even that chance, it's a really fantastic header from their striker. So it's just one of them. Could we have troubled them more? Definitely. It was almost so close at the end. Levi almost getting a touch onto that. I can't remember who played the pass, but almost getting that touch on the end of that cross in the last second, but wasn't to be. But look, if Yate don't win, to be honest, if Yate don't win the league, I'd be surprised. If Yate don't get playoffs, I'd be incredibly shocked. So it would that's a team that are going to give a lot of teams trouble. And especially the more they start playing and they get used to this sort of possession heavy style, they're going to probably start battering teams. So I'd take that one on the chin, especially with a sort of this not disjointed squad, but a sort of injury hit squad. Where you take it and you go and probably take a lot of happiness from the resilience shown defensively. Louis, Dave, Josh, Jake, Joe. They all, and Ollie even. Ollie sort of did a job on their numbers. Not Jenkins, who was I think their number 7, and did a job on him after he started really well in the game. So they work super hard defensively, and it's one of those games last season we probably lose 4-0. Not to keep drawing comparisons to last season because it's been and gone now, but that's one of those games last season. We conceded that first one, then we conceded 3 more. Whereas this one, we conceded 1, and then a frustrating goal for them, I think, because they were sort of switched off, and you think you're not going to get punished, and you do. And then we tried to fight back, it just wasn't sticking, and yeah, it just had a bit too much. So yeah, plenty to take, plenty to take. Obviously, got the weekend off now, probably deserved after such a busy schedule, and then we'll be back at it for Kidlington on the 7th.
Yeah, Yate are the best team I've seen at this level. No disrespect to Totten or Sholing or Wimborne or Froome or other teams that I've seen play at this level before. They are the best team I've seen at this level in ever, and I think they could go. That team could go and play in the league above and be very successful. So um, it probably shows the progress as well of us that this last season, as they said, we probably would have gone and lost 5 or 6-0. We did trouble them as well from long balls. We did cause them some problems when we managed to get into their half. Um, they're just a better team. They're maybe 3 or 4 steps ahead of us in progression as a club. They were relegated from the league above 2 or 3 years ago. Um, so I, as a supporter, was pretty happy driving back from Yate to kind of come away with a point after the 2 games. If someone had offered me a point going into the weekend, I probably would have been pretty happy. 2 really tough away games, 2 of the toughest probably places to go um, in the league for away games, barring Bideford. Um, So I'm really happy. We've surpassed our pre-Christmas points total from last season, and I think we're probably going to get slightly more than 7.
Hope so. Yeah,
Find some wood to
don't
touch.
care
That's
to.
that's plasterboard. I'll do. Um, but yeah, and spirits seem pretty high in the camp as well, with the lads Dave, Hilly, and Rolo. The confidence is high. There's lads to come back in the next few games as well. So I think it's been a pretty positive start to the season. I don't think there's really anything else to add. I think it probably got as best as we could have hoped for. We're sat fifth at the minute.
Yeah, still up there. Yeah.
Yeah, stop the count. Fifth. Give us playoffs now. Um, yeah, I think that's everything really from the games. Games coming up, we have got a lot, but it's going to be a bit disjointed because of the FA Cup and I was going to say Vars then trophy. So we have you got the fixture list there? Because I've put
Uh, no, but I think I know them. It will be start with Kidlington on the 7th, and then we will then play Willand at home on the 14th in the league. Kidlington is FA Trophy. Depending on our progress, we'll either have a game or no game. If we beat Kidlington, we will have a game on the 21st, depending on how we do in the trophy. And then we play Tavistock. We play Tavistock on the 25th at home, Tavistock on the 28th away. I don't know if there's any FA Cup permutations on that. I can't remember if Tavi's still in it or not, but
yeah, they
the
are.
yeah, so if they get through them, that might be an issue where they have a game on the 28th. But if they don't, and then we will play Tavi on the 28th away. And just to note on that as well, if you can't make any of those games, the only one I'm not, we'll be running a live commentary for the Kidlington game, be running live com for the Willen game. We'll be running a live com for the trophy game if we get through. And also for the Tavi away game. Unfortunately, can't do the home game. I will be there, but coming in from work, I don't want to just be there and get started with 5 minutes to go. So we'll be running that for the 4 games. I assume the away game is probably the most useful time, but the reason we do the home games is more so I can get the reps in and get the rounds in because it's not something I'd done for 7 years before I did Brixham, and that was with the signal that was a bit of a struggle. Whereas Yate was the first full one I've done since doing bloody Devon FA Cup finals when I was 16. So just getting that repetition in. So I appreciate everyone that was very kind about the commentary on Monday, and hopefully it will get better and it will improve with time as well.
Good. Right. I wasn't very kind. I
Sorry.
never am. Um, moving into October as well, as it stands, we've got Cribs at home on the 2nd. Away games in October. I'm only going to read the away games out now. Home games, we'll publicise those anyway, but just to make things clear so people can plan their weekends for away games because there's a lot of travel in October. We have Falmouth on the 5th of October.
Yeah.
Then from Cornwall all the way over to Thatcham, which is essentially near Reading, I believe. That's on the 19th of October. Then we have Didcot away on the 26th of October. And Tuesday, the 29th of October, we have Bashley. In between all that, we have Mousehole at home on Wednesday, the 23rd. 12th of October, we have Larkhall at home, and we have Cribs at home on the 2nd of October. Travel will be announced.
Yeah.
So people can pay.
In fact, I believe that we have coaches confirmed for, when the initial thing I was given, the initial tweet we put out was Falmouth, Thatcham, and Didcot. So, if anything changes to that, we will tell you. But as it stands, there should be coaches for those games.
Thatcham and Didcot, obviously, 2 new teams that we haven't visited before. Thatcham were incredibly complimentary of us as a club. Really nice people as well. I spoke to a number of their supporters and people from their club as well. Didcot, I know from a cup game when I was at Tavi. Also really nice. Exeter City essentially built half their ground from what I can gather. So if you're a City fan, they'll welcome you with open arms as well. Really nice people there. And then me and Nathan are also going to go to Bashley away midweek. So there'll be
Yes.
radio for that one as well.
Yes, that would be probably where the most useful time for that game because it is a trek on a Tuesday. Or is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday, I think. But it's a trek for that. So if anyone is making that journey, I know there was a few that made it. I believe it was a midweek one last year as well because it got postponed. So anyone making that, we'll see you there because we've booked a day off for it, so
Yeah,
we'll definitely be there.
My boss did say, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "No, just press the button and book it off now." Um, that is all the news. That's everything around games and everything. Currently, radio's been plugged to death. I don't think there's anything else that we need to plug or say or thank, is there? I forgot to do this at the beginning as well. I apologize. This is obviously brought to you by Thrifty. Thrifty sponsor me and Nathan and the VEO and everything we do media wise. I did write Thrifty on the top of my page in massive letters to remember to thank them. Thank you to Thrifty once again. We always bring that up. Thank you to all the sponsors as well for the club and everything. I think that's everything. We go again in
We
2 weeks against Kidlington. Kidlington have messaged the club and have promised that their goalkeeper will, if we win a penalty, will stay on his line and not stand next to the penalty taker this time. I think they've been read the rules. Yeah, that's everything. Nath, what are you gonna do with your weekend off?
I think go Taunton, go Taunton Didcot. So we'll get a bit of scouting in for that game on the 29th or 26th. So yeah, we'll get a bit of scouting in. But yeah, so it should be good. But nice.
You've made me
Enjoy
look
the
really bad
weekend
though. I
off.
was hoping you were going to say something like non-football related. And you've gone, no, I'm going to go do something for the club.
No. Well, I'm not gonna. I don't expect a dossier when I come back. But they'll
No, I want a dossier.
I'm going there to the game.
I want a live radio feed.
No way. I ain't, no chance. No.
You can get the radio feed. It's on a separate Twitter account. When we do
Yes.
put it out, go to that Twitter account, and Nate is on there. Eventually, we will
Yes.
like move it up and do other things so people on Facebook can find it and stuff as well. But that's the way to find it.
Just to explain that quickly, there's just so anyone that reason why we did it on Twitter is just honestly part of it is because I run it off the data on my phone, and Twitter is a very easy way. It's not if we were to run a video stream, it would it would be a laggy mess really. So that the reason why we do it on Spaces is because it's the easiest for me to run, and it is easy to join. And sometimes Twitter X can be funny. It's not a great website really anymore. But if you go on ETFC Live, you can make sure you're following the page, and then when it comes to about 2:55 on match day, you will see it pop up on our profile picture, I believe, and then you can join the space from there. It'll also do a tweet for that, and you can just join, press on it, and then when it say join broadcast, join, and then you will be in the space, and you can listen, and you can turn your phone off, like not off properly, but you can lock your screen and it will still be playing. So it's a bit complicated at first, but once you get it, you get it. And yeah, so it was great. Thank you to again for everyone that joined. But that's just a bit of explanations why, because obviously if we could do it on YouTube and it'd be fantastic, but it's not as easy as that, especially when you're running it just off mobile data. So
Alternatively, you can follow my updates on Twitter, but the best way to follow
yeah.
the club is to come down on a match day.
Yes.
Get involved, support the club, support the lads. This is the best football I've seen us play, and I think I had an update the other day that I've been going to games for 7 years on and off. Obviously, not week in week out. And this is the best football I've seen us play in that time. Um, yeah. So Nate's going to go to Didcot and he's going to give us a radio feed. I'm going to do something else. Maybe I'll find another opponent and I'll do a radio feed. But we'll have like radio feed rivals or something. We shall see you all
Yes.
soon. Take care. Up the town. The good times are here.